Hello everyone, welcome to Professional IAS. Today we are seeing one important document relevant for all the examinations to be conducted under TSPSC or Telangana related any examination for DSC, for TET, for B.Ed, for Group 1, Group 2, Group 4 because budget is a very commonly asked document in the examination. That's why have a focus here and learn it very properly. So we are discussing the budget of 2024 to 2025 which has been placed by the Congress government headed by Chief Minister Revanth Reddy sir. This is an important GK that budget is presented by Finance Minister and the present Deputy Chief Minister of Telangana, Bhatti Vikramarka Mallu. Please remember the dignitary name. He is going to be one of the important person for the next 5 years. Before going into the discussion, I wanted to just explain you few concepts which are relevant for our discussion at this point of time. So let us discuss what is the meaning of revenue, and we have to also discuss the meaning of what capital. Okay. Now if you look at revenue, the money the government gets for short period of time. Remember this point. The money that government gets for short period of time. And if you see the definition of capital, the money the government will get for long period of time. These two important distinctions you have to understand in order to understand the rest of the document. So revenue is nothing but the government get the money for a short period of time. Okay, capital is nothing but the government get the money for the long period of time. Now here one important twist is there which you have to concentrate. Okay, in revenue there are two important categorization is there. Revenue receipts we say and revenue expenditure we say. Revenue receipts is nothing but the amount of money government is getting regularly, very oftenly. Government is getting nothing but incoming money to the government. Revenue expenditure is nothing but government is doing the expenditure very regularly, very oftenly, recurringly the government is doing the expenditure. That is outgoing money from the government. So basically revenue is nothing but, as we have learned, money coming or going to the government regularly, oftenly, recurringly. If it is coming to the government regularly, oftenly, then we call it as revenue received, means government have received the money. If government is doing the expenditure regularly, then it's called as revenue expenditure. Just for example, government get the taxes. Every month we have to pay the taxes. On every product sold in our state, we have to pay the taxes on Colgate. If you buy Kurkure, if you buy Badal milk, whatever you buy, you have to pay the taxes to the government. So this is a government is getting the money, right? Yeah, this is called as revenue received to the government. And if you see that revenue expenditure from the government side, like on LPG cylinder, the present Revanth Reddy sir government is giving the LPG at 500 rupees, right? The rest 500 rupees they are giving us subsidy. And this is being given again and again. Why? Because we buy cylinders again and again. Every month we will buy, right? This is called as revenue expenditure because it is being done again and again. In the same way, Asra pension scheme is there. Many other pension schemes are there, which is also given every month to our state beneficiaries. That is called as revenue expenditure. The same way we are having what? Capital. Capital receipts are also there. Capital expenditure is also there. Capital receipts is nothing but government is getting the money for long period of time. Like government sells its bonds, okay, for 10 years, for 5 years. If the government sells bonds for long period of time, then it is called as capital received to the government. Or if government do the expenditure for the construction or for the extension of metro line. Okay, recently CM Revanth Reddy sir has also announced that metro to be also connected to the old city, right or wrong? So for that purpose, a large amount of money will be given for 5 years or 10 years for the long term purpose, right? So that is called as capital expenditure. When government spends money for long period of time for the construction of an asset like flyover, like a dam, like a energy power plant, like a metro, then it is called as capital expenditure. But when government gets the money for long period of time, that is called as capital receipt. I hope this is clear to you, right? Now if you see the government budget document, you look at here only. This is the important area, budget estimate 2024 to 2025. This column you remember. Okay, you see here revenue receipts, capital receipt. That is what I have just discussed you with the concept. Revenue receipts, see all these money, all these forms of money government is getting regularly. Nothing but central government will share some amount of money, whatever the central government is getting, no, that money central government will share with the state government. So share of central taxes, government of our Telangana government will get regularly from what? Central government. Tax revenues, state governments also levy taxes, okay, both direct and indirect taxes, and we have to pay on every purchase of the product, we have to pay on every direct taxes also. So that is the reason government is getting it again and again. So share of central taxes, tax revenues, non-tax revenues like TSPSC application fee, right? Any other police channels are also there, court fines are also there. All these government is getting what? Very, very regularly. Grant in aids are nothing but central government will give money on and off to the state government in order to build some important infrastructure in order for the welfare of the society. So these points you have to remember. This is given in the budget. So they may ask you in the examination that which one of the following are considered as revenue receipts. So revenue receipts include share of central taxes, tax revenues, non-tax revenues, grants in aids. These four important things that you have to remember. Now if you see it very clearly, revenue receipts are around 2,05,601 crore. So very big amount. Okay, that is in crores only. 2,05,601 crore. This much amount of money the government has got, Telangana government has got in revenue receipts. If you look at very closely, okay, out of these four revenue receipts, government has got the highest from what? Taxes. Like, okay, so almost like 50% of the revenue receipts our government is getting from what? Tax revenues. Please remember this point. Okay, you have to remember, they may ask you in the examination that which one of the following taxes contribute, which one of the following revenue receipts contribute highest to the government. So your answer is what? Tax revenue contribute highest to the government. Remember this point. Okay. Then after tax we are having what? Central government share of taxes. This is the second. They rank. Grants in aid is the third, and this is non-tax revenue fourth. So least revenues government is getting from where? Non-tax revenues. Least revenue government is getting from non-tax revenues. Highest revenue government is getting from tax revenues. This all you have to remember for the examination. Now if you see capital receipts here, capital receipts are 68,585 crore. Remember this point. Now if you compare both revenue and capital receipts, revenue receipts are more than capital. So this is a very, revenue receipts are more than capital receipts. This point you have to remember forever. Don't forget it. If they ask you in the examination as a statement that revenue receipts are less than capital receipts, means wrong statement. Revenue receipts are 2 lakh crore. Okay, round figure I have done, and the capital receipts are only 68,000 crore. Okay, 68 into 3 also does not become like almost like capital revenue receipts are 4 times the capital receipts, like that you can say 6 for the 24. Remember, or if it is 68 means almost like 7, no, 7 3s are 21, almost like. So revenue receipts are 3 times the capital receipt. Please remember this point. Okay, right, fine. So if you see in the capital receipts, you have a very big list is there. This list you have to remember, my dear students. Capital receipts, government gets money for a long period of time. Remember this point. Government is getting money for the long period of time. First one is open market loans. Government will issue securities, bonds that we can purchase. State development loans we say. We call it as what? SDLs. We call it as SDL, state development loans. So for the development of the state government will take loans by issuing bonds. That is called as open market loans. Floating debt is there, which is also a capital receipt, but it is now nil. We don't have the regular payment, debts are not there. Loans from government of India. Once central government gives the loan, no, the central government also give loans to the state government. Remember this point. And this also comes for a long period of time. Then other loans taken by the state government. from LIC, from any other bank, state government will also take some loans. From RBI, the state government may take loans. Then deposit transactions. Deposit transaction nothing but the amount of money deposited with the state government by the people. Okay, so that how much government has to give from the deposit, like state government PF, GPF will be there, no, that is also handled by the state government. Okay, so that deposit transaction also coming for a long period of time, because after the retirement only that money will be given to the state employees. So every month all the state employees whatever are contributing to the government, okay, it will be staying with them for long period of time till the retirement, right? Remember this. Open market loans, floating debt, loans from government of India, other loans, deposit transactions, another loans of advances taken from any other way, other receipts which are not a part of any of this. Contingency fund is also there. Contingency fund is nothing but a fund, a important account created by the government in order to meet any emergency situation. Remember this point, in order to meet any emergency situation. And interstate settlement, okay, between the states also giving of loan and taking of loans are being done. So interstate settlements also comes under what? Capital receipts. And loan giving to other state, loan taking from other state. Okay, basically state will not take, but within the state whatever the statutory bodies will be there, no, like GHMC is having a what issued some bonds to the other state governments have bought it, etc. So interstate settlements are also there. That is also of long term nature. That is why it is also classified under the capital receipts. Here also if you see in the capital receipts, highest contribution we are getting from what? Open market loans. Means state government issuing bonds and securities for the development of the state. So almost like out of 68,000, 59,000, almost like 85% of capital receipts of the government is coming from open market loans. Okay, then all these are very very less, so we don't have to worry about it. Please make sure that within the which one of the following are considered as capital receipts, like that they may ask you the question. All of these you have to remember. Okay, these all three options will be given from these three, one will be given from here. So this is the odd man out. So they may ask you in the examination that which one of the following constitute capital receipts. So all of it you remember it. Okay, so till now we have learned that revenue receipts and capital receipt concept we have learned. Revenue receipts are 2 lakh, capital receipts are 68,000 crore. Revenue receipts are more than capital receipts. Okay, within the revenue receipts, tax revenues are highest and followed by share of central taxes. The third one is granting aid, and the last one we are having non-tax revenue. In revenue receipts, please remember the chronology is important. Okay, whereas in capital receipts we have seen what constitute the capital receipts, all of this. Now if you see here, total receipts 2 and 3. 2 and 3 means see, this is a 2 and 3. 2 is how much? 2 lakh crore. Capital receipt is how much? 68,000 crore, right? So you can see here very clearly 2 and 3, almost 2 lakh and 68,000 will come to 2 lakh 74,000 crores. Very 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 important point for the examination point of view. Okay, the total receipts of Telangana, they may ask you in the examination, the total receipts of Telangana is 2 lakh 74,000 crores. Okay, as I have already told you that revenue receipts also have expenditure, but if you see the expenditure, revenue expenditure of the government is 2 lakh 1,000 crores. Okay, now how much is the receipt of the Telangana government? How much money the Telangana government has got? 2 lakh 5,000 crores, right? 2 lakh 5,000 government got revenue receipts. What is the revenue expenditure? 2 lakh 1,000. It means what? We are surplus or not? We are having 4,000 rupees, 4,000 crore rupees extra. So Telangana is a surplus state with regard to what? Revenue component of the budget. Remember this point. Okay. In revenue expenditure, maximum expenditure is being done by the government of interest payments, paying interest to various other whatever the loans the government of Telangana has raised for the development of the state. On that loans, the government has to pay interest to non-banking financial corporations, like, and also the LIC, like post offices, like state governments. Okay, so government has to pay lot of interest on the loans. So loans are the highest component of revenue expenditure. Remember this point. So interest payments on loans, highest component, that is 22,000 crores. Now revenue receipts is over, capital receipts is over, revenue expenditure just now we have seen. Now let us see capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is 29,669 crores. Remember this. Okay, fine. So revenue expenditure is more than capital expenditure. This also you have to remember. Revenue expenditure is 2 lakh. Capital expenditure is only 30,000 crores approximately. So both in revenue receipts and revenue expenditure, revenue receipts are more than, not like that. In revenue receipts and capital receipts, revenue receipts are more. In revenue expenditure, capital expenditure, again revenue expenditure is more. Okay. Now if you see here, loans and advances constitute 28,000 crores. Capital disbursement 15 to 17. Capital disbursement, public debt repayment, government has taken the loans or money raised from the public, they have to give it back. Loans from the government of India, government have to give it back, state government have to give it back. Other loans. So capital disbursement consists of these three important components. Please remember this point. They may ask you in the examination that which one of the following constitute capital disbursement of state budget: public debt repayment, loans from government of India, other loans, and interstate settlement. Now if you see here, in capital expenditure 29,699 crores has been spent. Loans and advances 28,000. Capital disbursement 17,000. This all you have to remember. 20, 20, 20. Okay, this all comes to 60, almost like 70. Okay, both in revenue and capital expenditure, 70,000 crores has been actually expenditure happened. If you see the total expenditure, whether revenue and capital expenditure, if you see 2 crore 75 lakhs, that's what I told you. 20, 20, 20 will become what, 70 only, and revenue expenditure is almost like 2. You can see revenue expenditure is 2 lakh and capital expenditure is almost 29,000. So total expenditure 29,000 plus all these are also the two components, 20, 20, 20 is this one. So total expenditure will become 2,75,000 crores. So here you have to remember two things. Total receipts of the government is how much? 2,74,000. Total expenditure is 2,75,000. So almost like only 1,000 crore rupees of difference is there. So minus 1,000 crore in total budget we are deficit. Now you see here overall transaction, means overall if you do plus and minus, so we are short of only 1,700 crores, which is very less for a developing state like Telangana. Okay, closing balance is not important. Revenue surplus. Okay, we are in revenue component, we are surplus of 4,424 crores, which I have already told you. Now if you see fiscal deficit is nothing but revenue expenditure, 5th one, 6th one capital expenditure, then 8th one capital disbursement, and 18th one, then 10 plus 13. If we do all the sums and minuses of revenue of receipts and expenditure, so total fiscal deficit will come. Fiscal deficit is nothing but all the money government is getting minus all the money government is doing the expending. Okay, this is called as fiscal deficit. So if you see the fiscal deficit, Telangana government is 53,227 crore rupees of fiscal deficit is a very important point. Please remember this. Okay, so what is the fiscal deficit of government for 2024 to 2025 budget? The question may come like this. The fiscal deficit of the Telangana government is what? 53,227 crore. Okay, now you have to remember this one also. Primary deficit is 30,476 crores. Primary deficit is nothing but 30,476 crores. Means out of fiscal deficit, if you remove the amount of money used for capital asset construction. Okay, so fiscal deficit, whatever is there, whatever the capital revenue, the government whenever allocate money for the development of capital asset, very good infrastructure development, if you remove that money, we'll get what? Primary. From the fiscal deficit minus, okay, fiscal deficit minus money spent for the creation of what? Assets. If you remove this, then you will get what? Primary deficit you will get. Primary deficit is how much? 30,476 crores. So this is a very, very, very important lecture. Please watch again and again. If you are having any doubts, you can just call to the number given in the description, or you can call to this or text to this number. I will try to help you out, and also you can mail to the mail ID info@professionalias.com. This is also fine. You can do this, okay, which is also there in the description. Make sure that you don't leave out leave us marks for the simple things. That document is very important. You have to learn about it. Thank you. Please do like, share and subscribe, and do hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload the video you will get the information.